Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Aaron Torres Podcast YouTube page. If you could do me a quick favor, see that little subscribe button at the bottom of your screen? Go ahead, click that subscribe button. Really does help our channel grow, our audience grow, and I really do appreciate it more than you know. So click that subscribe button. Appreciate your support. Now, here's the video that you came here for. Let's talk Nico Iamaleava and the UCLA Bruins to close the show, okay? And so let me say this. We are going to talk about him. At some point, we won't. But this story is absolutely unbelievable. And I know the role that Nico played. I know the role that his dad played. I know the role that the agent played, whatever. I am starting to feel bad for him, though. But we got to go ahead and discuss this because on Saturday night in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada, my favorite city in the world, UCLA went to play the UNLV Rebels. The UNLV Rebels final score in this one, 30-23. And whether you feel bad for Nico, maybe you don't. Maybe you're a Tennessee fan that says, I don't care about that kid, whatever. I am starting to feel a little bit bad. But more importantly, I think this is very much quickly becoming a cautionary tale of everything that can go wrong in the NIL era. Okay. So first of all, let's give some context here. UCLA is playing at UNLV. Don't know how much y'all know about UNLV, but remember, Dan Mullen is now the head coach. And on top of Dan Mullen being the head coach, guess what? They nearly lost to Idaho State in week 0. Idaho State, an FCS team, not even a good FCS team, mind you. UNLV almost lost to them. So UNLV goes to Las Vegas. They end up falling down 23-0 in this game before rallying to make it competitive at least. UNLV puts up a touchdown. UCLA trails 30, whatever it would be, 30-23. They have the ball late. Nico throws a pick to seal the loss. Now, in defense of Nico, he didn't play bad. And I can be critical of how he left Tennessee, the circumstances, worst decision I've ever seen. But at the same time, he actually looked pretty good. Now, again, it's UNLV. You know, guys don't get drafted off of a good game against UNLV. But he did play well. 29-41 passing, 255 yards, 11 rushes, including a rushing touchdown. I actually thought this was one of the better games that I've personally seen him play. Admittedly, it's against UNLV. A lot different than Ohio State in the playoff. A lot different than Alabama. A lot different than Oklahoma, whoever he played against with Tennessee. But at the same time, UCLA's 0-2. UCLA is not going to be very good this year. I think we're looking at legitimately like potentially a 2-10 type season. I think there's not a 0% chance that Deshaun Foster gets fired after this year. And this is just quickly becoming just one of the biggest bag drops in recent sports. I was talking to my producer at Fox Sports Radio about it. By the way, my Fox Sports Radio podcast, do me a favor, download it. We have it pinned at the top of the chat here. But this is an all-time bag drop. And I was talking to my Fox Sports Radio producer. Has there ever been a worse decision financially than the one that Nico had? Because you can't help but think about not only where he is, but what he gave up, because whether he was selfish, whether his family was selfish, whatever, somebody was selfish, somebody wanted more money, but think about what he gave up. He was at a school where he would have been, win or lose, by the way, revered. Tennessee went through a lot of bad years, and guess what? They still revere all their players. I respect the hell out of Tennessee, how the fan base responds, how they treat their players, how they whatever. But he is at, I don't want to say a one-of-one fan base because there's a lot of great fan bases in college football, but the short list of like great fan bases in college football. You're playing in front of 100,000 people every week, and you're coming off of a college football playoff appearance. Like the whole point, what does Herm Edwards say, right? Forget all the NIL money. Listen, everybody's got to pay bills, whatever, but you play to win the game. And you went 10-2 last year. You made the college football playoff. And then I know I said it's not only about money. You're making $2 million a year. And you gave all that up to go to a place where you're probably going to go 2-10, where your coach is going to get fired, where you were down 23-0 to the UNLV Rebels. Okay. And what makes it worse, listen, I understand Nico's going through some stuff. There was a report that his mom is sick. I want to be clear. If it's true, and I think it's true because I've independently kind of confirmed that, we wish her a speedy recovery. We can have football disagreements while also wishing health and happiness on the family. I can't speak for anybody else. I hope the mom makes a full recovery. I hope she's great, whatever. But at the same time, I will also say this, is that it doesn't justify the decision. And you can't tell me, well, he's only wanted to do it because he wanted to come home. Well, that's actually not really how it all played out at all, right? Because now I think this is going to be the next thing. Is they've been trying to sell for a month now, since Big Ten Media Days, that it was all about family and he wanted to be closer to home and this and that and whatever. Well, first of all, there are contractual obligations, right? At last I heard, Arkansas is in the middle of suing his younger brother for breaching of a contract. Tennessee isn't going that route, but one, there's contractual understanding. Two, beyond that, none of your behaviors indicated when you left that it was actually about family, right? Because we all remember that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the report comes out, you're at practice, everything's going well. You're at, I believe, what was it, Joey Halsey's house that night, everything's going well. Then the next day, you don't show up, nobody can get a hold of you. If it was just about family, all you had to do from the beginning was tell us, dude, there's a situation going on back home. I got to get back. I wish it wasn't this way. Everybody would have understood. But you go silent. You sneak out the side door. It's very clear that it's about money. Oh, by the way, it's about personnel, whatever, that you're not happy with. Well, personnel isn't better at UCLA. And then, oh, by the way, for anybody that's going to be like, well, it was clearly about family. He just wanted to get closer to home. Let's never forget. How did Tennessee find out about this? It's because Oregon reached out and was like, somebody's reaching out to us, trying to convince us to take Nico, right? Ole Miss, Ohio State. If it was about family, I'm sorry. Last time I checked the map, Columbus ain't all that much closer to Long Beach, California than Knoxville is. Oxford, Mississippi ain't much closer to Long Beach, California than Knoxville is. And so it was never really about family. I feel terrible about the family situation. But the more that we watch this unfold, the more that this is just going to go down as an all-time bad decision. Again, I think this team's going 2-10. I mean, we don't have to go through the UCLA schedule here on a Saturday or Sunday in early September, but they still have Penn State. They still have at Indiana, who I think is good, Nebraska, Ohio State, Washington, and USC. I just named 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams. They ain't being any of them, okay? Northwestern, you got to go on the road next week. Michigan State, maybe. Maryland, maybe. Whatever. A best case scenario is like 5-7. And again, I understand maybe family did play some decision, but at the end of the day, the goal was still to get to the NFL where you make generational money. So you gave up playing for a great fan base, 100,000 people, elite offensive head coach, in a position where you can win and you're getting developed for the pros, to now go to a program where you're probably going to go, I think 5-7 is the ceiling. I think probably 2-10 is the floor, maybe worse. And then on top of it, what's Deshaun Foster's future? What's your future? Are you getting better and NFL ready? I don't think so. And so I could go on. I don't even want to pick on Nico at this point, but it's a story. And it will continue to be a story because it continues to be the great bag drop of all time. And again, it's the basics, right? Worse situation, less money. Now it's even worse than we could have anticipated. And I don't think that program has reached rock bottom. This isn't even an anti-Nico thing, but it is a story, and we have to discuss the big stories. And Nico's going to be a cautionary tale real quick.